Hello everyone, I am on the back deck today because I need to empty out the 3 raised beds that are back here. They're the only raised beds that I have on the back deck because I need to put bulbs in them. And I feel like all of my garden cleanup tasks have been so delayed this year because it's been so nice. I mean, we're in the 2nd week now of November. I'm out here without a coat on, with whatever that is on, and it's still so nice that my plants are still green, which makes it very hard to pull. But I feel like, well, I think the next week we're still looking like 50 degrees as the high, which is the perfect temperature up here since it is hotter on a rooftop deck. So I think I will still have plenty of time to get my bulbs in before the soil freezes, but I'm nervous that a cold snap is just going to come out of nowhere. So I need to get these emptied, even though some of the plants still look so good. I'll show you what my plan is, then we'll go through it all. I'm not going to plant the bulbs today, but I will do that in a whole separate video because that's going to be long with all the stuff that I've learned about bulbs in containers. So let me show you everything that I have for today's tasks. So these 3 along the wall are the ones that I'm going to plant bulbs in. And this is the only place I'm planting bulbs. I will also pot up some individual pots, actually those gray pots there in the right corner, but I like to keep them all concentrated to one area. I think it just looks really pretty, and I've killed so many over the years that I don't want to put them everywhere in the garden. So in the next few days, I'll probably be planting all of these up with bulbs, which means I have to get all of these plants out. So these raised beds are from the Charming Bench Company. I really like them. They are a bit lower. They're not an elevated bed that would be, at your waist. I do still have to bend down to plant things in them, but because they are shorter, this brick wall does a really great job of protecting my plants from the heavy winds. So having beds a little bit lower protects the plants, and I also kind of think it makes it feel more like an in-ground garden almost, because I'll have the pots in front and then the plants growing up behind and you can't even really see the raised bed, so it's almost like an in-ground garden border up on my deck. So I really like those. The 3 pots here, because the sun patience still looks so good, those are going to stay because I want some color in here. I always get sad when I empty out the beds because there's just no color until the bulbs decide to sprout and bloom. Now let's talk about what is in each of these beds. Most of the plants in this one I think are dead. I've also pulled some plants in the past as they've died throughout the season. So I have a dead gomphrena there. I have a live gomphrena, which I'm going to harvest all the flowers off of before I pull it. There's the stem of a cosmos that died. And then this celosia, because the celosia still looks so good. This one, again, it's from Floret. It's the vintage rose. And I'm going to cut all of these off to dry before I attempt to get what I'm assuming is a giant root ball based on the size of that stem. So those I'm going to harvest first, then attempt to pull the plant out. The center raised bed, I don't think anything I'm going to save. Oh, actually, take that back. I think I am going to take the begonia flowers to press. Now, from my experience, these don't hold their color. These are the Selenia apricot. They turn brown. But I love having brown pressed flowers. I like more natural colors as well, especially for winter crafts. So I'm going to harvest all of those to press. That is a perennial. And so it's an anemone. I'm trying to think if maybe I will leave that because it's not very large and it does have pink flowers. So if it comes back next year, I would love that. So maybe that's the one plant I'll leave. I also have Rudbeckia. It's covered in powdery mildew, so I'm going to pull that whole plant. I have a status that still looks so good. There's not a ton of flowers on it, but I'm going to pull it anyway. But look how pretty that still looks. More of the begonias over there. Another dead gomphrena. Dahlias are staying until they die completely back. They're getting there, but not there yet. I wait until all of the green is gone. And then this bed has the same mix of plants. So there's the celosia. Even though these are both the same variety, the vintage rose, these look different. I don't like the look of them as much, but the sparrows love them. So this is where I'm having a hard time deciding what to do because I want the sparrows to still enjoy them. They're out here every day eating the seeds. I think I'm going to pull it up, but then just lay it somewhere. I don't know where yet. It's not like I have a ton of space, so I'll figure that out. Dead gomphrena, I think there is some of the, you can see the pink gomphrena back there that I'll harvest to dry. And then I think that's it for all of these for any of the plants that I pull today, if I'm not saving the flowers to dry, I am going to try to do the chop and drop with all of the garden waste. So I'm going to put it all on, well, it's not really a tarp, it's a plantain mat. I'm going to put it all in there, chop it up, toss it back into the bed, and then it'll kind of act as a mulch as well once I plant my bulbs. So that is going to be my plan. Root balls might need to be taken down and put in a garbage bag for garden waste pickup, but I'll see if maybe I can break down some of those as well. It's all a process, but if I can keep as much stuff up here as possible, not only does it benefit me because I am lazy, but also it'll benefit the garden. So that's going to be the plan. First thing, I'm going to harvest everything I'm going to save. So any flowers to press, any flowers to dry, then we'll get to ripping these out. I have my pruners, and first I'm going to grab all the gomphrena. This is Truffula Pink gomphrena, so the heads are more like a little firework than like the round ball of all the other gomphrena, and I like having those differences in the flowers that I dry. One of the things I do with my dried flowers is I first use them all to decorate a Christmas tree that I have on this floor. So you will see me do that, assuming that everything is dry by then, since I have been delayed a little bit this season. But I really like to use them that way first, then I take them off of the tree and use them in crafts or decorations for the winter. And I will bring you along with me as I do all of that. Let's see if there's any more. That one's a bit too far gone to save. No, I think these are too far gone to save as well. We'll do the celosia next. And again, I'm grabbing the ones that still look good. Like this one down here, I feel like is way too far gone. So even if I dry that, it just wouldn't really look pretty. So this is going to be garden waste, which I'll put there. And then let's get to harvesting all of these flowers. Again, this plant I'm drying these from. They will be put on my Christmas tree. The other plant, I'm just going to cut it down and put it somewhere for the birds. But I like the shape of these flowers. They're a little bit more intense in color, and they're longer and more feathery, whereas the other ones are a bit more compact and kind of a neutral color. And growing this next year, I'm going to use the seeds. I did save seeds from both plants, but I'm going to use the seeds I saved from this plant for next year since I prefer it over the other one. I will be removing the leaves from these before I dry them, and those will just go in with the garden waste I'm going to chop and drop. And I probably also will have a bunch of seeds fall out from these when I'm drying them that I will save. You know what, that's a good idea. I'm probably going to put either a mat or plates or something underneath these as they dry, because the seeds will fall out, and that way I can make sure to save those seeds as well. I've harvested from this bed what I'm going to use, so now we pull, and I'm going to start with what I think is going to be the easiest. So already dead gomphrena. There's a begonia in here that still looks good, no flowers, but you are getting pulled. Everything so far is coming out pretty easily, but I don't think that's going to be the story with the celosia. But we shall see. I think you are stuck together, so let's pull both of you. And yes, I will be making a mess that I will be sweeping up. Now, nothing in this bed has a disease. The rudbeckia with the powdery mildew, that I will just get rid of because I don't want to leave leaves with powdery mildew sitting in there. But everything else I think is disease-free as far as I can tell. Did I have two? Did I have two celosia in here? All right, well, I think I only won the other one as well. You'd think I would know what I planted in here. Okay, the time has come. Let's see how this goes. Can't, at least it's coming out and taking half of the dirt with it. All right, not too terrible. I am going to get, because my pruners will not work on this stem, I'm hoping I have something else that I can cut the stem off with. Well, I have this that I got from Amazon. I don't know if I would recommend it because it's kind of flimsy and I feel like it shouldn't be, but I'm going to use this as a saw to get, hopefully, this giant stem off. Not too bad at all. Let me show you what's going on so far. So this bed is now empty. I mean, I might find some root balls as I rake through it. So that's gonna be my next step, is to rake through the soil. I turned off all of the emitters. So I closed them, I pulled them out of the soil because I won't need them until I plant whatever I'm gonna plant in here after my bulbs. So yeah, and it always amazes me how much soil is still left over. I might add some bulb tone when I plant the bulbs, but I'm gonna wait until next season before the May planting to put in any compost. Now over here is everything I removed. So there's the celosia I'm gonna pull the leaves off of and dry those. Just a little handful of gomphrena to dry. And then there is the celosia root ball, the tinier root balls, and then all of this I'm gonna chop back in there and just drop it on top. Now, I do sometimes get things sprouting because there will be seeds on some of these. I'm fine with that. Working in containers, it's really easy to weed. And also when I plant larger plants, it kind of suppresses everything else, but sometimes I enjoy a little surprise. So just raking through here now. I'm not raking all the way to the bottom. I'm just doing the top couple inches just to see if there's anything like this little root ball that I'm missing, so that I know there's no like big chunks left here. Oh, here's one of the bulbs that rotted last year. It's good to know you're still in there. Overall, I think we are good to go. And now we chop and drop. So I'm just cutting the pieces. I should probably cut them even a little bit smaller, but maybe like 3 to 4 inches down the stem. And these are going to break down over winter. Now, I'm not sure if they'll break down as much as my tomato and peppers. I'll link that video down below to show you my chop and drop for those, because these are going to be covered with a tarp. Because what has rotted my bulbs the most is too much moisture over winter, so I do have to cover them. So since they won't be getting the same amount of moisture, they won't really be getting any sunlight until I remove the tarp. I don't know if these will break down quite as fast, but we'll see. Gardening is just one big, really fun experiment. Now for this big bundle. And this is my last plant to chop and drop into this bed. So far though, so good. I'm probably going to, with the large stem, just put it in the garden waste bag because I don't know if that'll be too big to really break down efficiently over winter. We'll see. Here are all of those plants that I pulled out of the bed, chopped and dropped right on top of the soil. So mostly it's leaves, flowers, and the thinner stems. Any of the thicker stems, those are gonna go downstairs in the garden waste bag. So the other 2 beds are gonna be the exact same process. Nothing I'm gonna do any differently. So I'm gonna just, well, I was gonna say quickly do that. I will do that without having to show you guys because I don't wanna be too repetitive, and then we'll jump back when those beds are empty. Oh, I haven't seen any pigeons, I just realized. I mean, usually they're out in the morning, but now I'm kind of offended that none of them have joined us. I did paint myself as a pigeon for Halloween. If you are on Instagram, you saw that. I did actually film some of it. Like I filmed me painting myself and some of the aftermath, but I didn't feel like it felt like a full video. So let me know if you'd want me to post maybe on like a random weekend, me painting myself like a pigeon. Might be fun. Let me know what you think. So now I'm going to finish up the other 2 beds and then show you what I'm left with. I have chopped, I have dropped, and I have emptied out all of these beds ready for bulbs, except for that one anemone that I'm going to see if that comes back over winter. In this last bed, this is where I left the celosia that the sparrows seem to really like to eat off of. So I'm going to watch over the next few days, see if they do continue to eat the seeds off of this. Then when I plant my bulbs, I will just move this somewhere else. Like I might even just lay it on the deck floor. Next step then is to clean up the mess that I've made. Well, that's slightly better. I do have some of the Gomphrena petals that are a little bit stuck, so I need to grab a push broom. I'll do this later, but I'm going to grab a push broom, and then I also have an outdoor shop vac that I use to kind of get everything that I can't get up with the broom. But that's where it's going to stay for now until I do those extra steps. And then here's everything I have. I still need to remove the leaves from the flowers I'm going to dry, but that's my Gomphrena. I have the celosia. I actually saved this main stem from the celosia that the birds aren't going to eat. I really like, so I will let this dry out. I will leave it out. I don't think we're supposed to get rain for a week. Let it dry and then move it inside over winter. But I like using these as plant supports, especially for things where I want to add twine, because when you, like if I just had one straight stake, when you tie twine to it, it slips down. But when you have the little branch nubs on it, if I tied twine right here, it would stay right there. So I really like this. I'm saving this for sure to use next year. And then I have some marigolds here that are already drying. And then those are the begonias I'm gonna press. Look who finally decided to show up. Is it just you? I don't actually think I know you. Hello. So that is everything done for today. And I thought I was gonna feel sad or a little bit sad pulling everything, but I don't. And that's a good sign that I am ready for the end of garden season. I don't like the cold weather and being stuck inside, but I am ready to get things kind of wrapped up here. And I didn't realize how much I really depend on the weather to change my mood because it hasn't been cold. Usually I'm a person that will get their Christmas decorations up early November because if I'm gonna put all that effort into putting it up, I want to enjoy it for as long as possible, but it's been so warm I can't even shift into holiday mode at all. So we'll see when I do that, but let me know if you have any questions. I will keep you updated. Either the next video or the one after will be me actually planting the bulbs, and I think that's gonna be everything. So thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.